Football survives on one thing: trust. Not money, not technology, not even talent. Trust. Trust that the game you're watching is real, that the referee's whistle means justice, not manipulation, that the outcome is decided by the players, not by gamblers hiding behind screens. But right now, in 2025, that trust is being shattered because Turkey, one of Europe's most passionate footballing nations, is facing a scandal unlike anything we've seen before, a scandal that could redefine what it means to believe in the game. It started quietly. Rumors of strange betting patterns, whispers about referees gambling on matches, odd decisions that didn't make sense. Then, in late October 2025, the truth started to break. The Turkish Football Federation announced the results of an internal probe that stunned the world. Out of 571 referees and assistant referees, 371 had registered betting accounts. 152 had actively placed bets on football matches. Some of them were refereeing in Turkey's top division, the Super League, and one referee, according to investigators, had placed more than 18,000 bets over 5 years. The shock was instant. By November, the TFF had suspended 149 referees. Prosecutors had issued detention warrants for 21 people, including 17 referees and a club president, and Turkish police were raiding offices, freezing accounts, and seizing phones. For a country that lives and breathes football, it felt like an earthquake. But make no mistake, this isn't just Turkey's problem, it's Europe's wake-up call. Referees are supposed to be sacred in football. They are the human embodiment of fairness, the neutral force that keeps chaos under control. You can hate their decisions, you can argue their calls, but you're supposed to trust that they're honest. That's what gives football meaning. When that collapses, the entire game does. Because once a referee's integrity is in doubt, every goal, every penalty, every offside flag becomes a question mark. And that's exactly what's happening in Turkey right now. Let's understand how this happened. For years, Turkey's football scene has lived in a state of tension. Referee decisions have always been scrutinized, sometimes violently. Fans accuse them of bias, clubs issue public statements, presidents rant on TV. It's a culture of pressure. Referees are constantly criticized but rarely protected. And financially, many of them are underpaid compared to the scale of the job. So when online betting exploded, temptation crept in. At first, it may have seemed harmless, a bet on a foreign match, a small wager after hours. But once that door opened, it didn't close. Soon, referees were placing bets on local matches. Some allegedly even bet on games they officiated, directly violating FIFA's most basic integrity laws. And because betting in Turkey is tightly monitored, some turned to offshore platforms using fake names, intermediaries, and crypto payments. For years, no one noticed, or maybe no one wanted to notice, until the data spoke for itself. It all came to light thanks to digital forensics. Betting regulators flagged unusual account activity connected to individuals using official TFF email addresses. That triggered an investigation, and when cross-checked with referee registration data, the overlap was staggering. Hundreds of referees betting on football. Some were making micro-bets, things like yellow cards or corners. Others were betting on match outcomes. And that's the terrifying part, because a referee doesn't have to fix a game entirely to make money. He just needs to influence one event, a foul, a delay, an extra minute added. In today's world of spot betting, that's enough. Millions can change hands because of a single decision. And when those decisions come from the people with the whistle, the line between sport and manipulation disappears. The Turkish Football Federation called it a moral crisis. That's an understatement. This is a system-wide failure. How can 371 referees hold betting accounts and no one noticed for years? How can a referee place thousands of bets and still be assigned to officiate top-flight matches? It shows how weak football's oversight has become, not just in Turkey but across Europe. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Europe isn't immune. In the last few years alone, we've seen smaller scandals emerge in Italy, Spain, Belgium, and Greece, mostly in lower leagues, mostly brushed under the carpet. But the conditions are always the same: low pay, high pressure, easy access to betting apps, and no independent monitoring.
Is the biggest scandal, which is a penalty in our favor.
Turkey's crisis just happened to explode first, but it could have been anywhere. People entrusted to protect fairness can't resist betting temptation. How long before other countries face the same reality? Let's not forget, football and betting are now intertwined. Every major European league is flooded with gambling sponsors. Betting odds flash on TV graphics. Clubs sign multi-million euro deals with betting companies. Even referees see that culture every week, surrounded by ads telling them to get in on the action. And that's the paradox. Football preaches integrity, while making gambling a central part of its ecosystem. When you live in a culture where betting is normalized, when it's everywhere you look, can we really be surprised that referees got involved? The difference is, for them, it's not entertainment, it's corruption. The consequences are huge. First, there's the loss of credibility. Fans in Turkey no longer trust the officials. Every controversial penalty, every VAR decision now feels tainted. Even if the majority of referees are innocent, the damage is done. Perception becomes reality. Then, there's the institutional fallout. The TFF has had to restructure its entire refereeing department, suspend competitions, and request help from FIFA and UEFA. Some fear that UEFA could even sanction Turkish officials from participating in European matches until the integrity system is rebuilt. And the third consequence is global trust erosion. If it can happen in one UEFA nation, it can happen anywhere. European football's reputation is collective. When one country's integrity collapses, the whole system looks compromised. So how does football fix this? It starts with accountability. There needs to be mandatory disclosure. Every referee's financial activity should be monitored. No anonymous betting accounts. No side hustles. If you hold the whistle, you hold responsibility. Then comes education. Referees need to be trained not just in rules and fitness, but in ethics. They must understand the ripple effect of a single compromised decision. And finally, independent oversight. Right now, most federations investigate themselves. That's a conflict of interest. Europe needs independent integrity units, bodies that can investigate federations, not just take their word for it, because corruption thrives in closed rooms. Transparency kills it. But here's the harsh truth. This isn't just a systems issue, it's a cultural one. Football has built an environment where money trumps morality, and winning on or off the field justifies everything. When clubs are owned by billionaires, when players earn hundreds of thousands a week, and when federations chase revenue over regulation, is it really surprising that referees, the least protected figures in the game, get caught in the middle? They're under immense pressure, vilified by fans, underpaid by federations, and surrounded by temptation. None of that excuses what's happened, but it explains how it could. The Turkish referees' betting scandal is a mirror showing football what it has become. A sport drowning in money and exposure, but starving for integrity. The TFF said they were shocked. But shock isn't enough. Shock is what you feel when something happens that you didn't expect. This, we should have expected it, because the signs have been there for years. Small scandals brushed aside, whispers ignored, integrity treated as a slogan rather than a value. And now, the cost has come due. For Turkish football, the road back will be long. Hundreds of referees need replacing. Trust needs rebuilding. Every match from recent years may be reviewed. It will take years for fans to believe again. But this story isn't ending in Turkey. UEFA and FIFA are already watching, and you can bet, no pun intended, that every European federation is quietly checking its own referees right now. The question is, will they act before it's too late? Because scandals like this don't appear overnight. They grow in silence. Football can survive bad seasons. It can survive corruption in boardrooms. It can even survive political influence. But it cannot survive losing credibility on the pitch. When the person holding the whistle is compromised, the entire sport loses its meaning. The 2025 Turkish referees' betting scandal isn't just about one country's shame. It's a warning to every league that thinks it's immune. Because the moment fans stop believing that the game is fair, the moment they think results can be bought or bet on, that's the moment football dies, quietly, in the hearts of those who love it most. So here's the question. Europe needs to answer. Will this scandal be a turning point, or just another headline? Will federations reform, or will they pretend this was a one-off? Because the future of football depends on the answer. What do you think? Can European football rebuild its integrity, or has the beautiful game already crossed a line it can't return from?